I just put up my reviews of the 2015 Attack on Titan live action movies, which was just 2 parts, but there was also a 3-episode live action miniseries that also goes into that world. I'm not going to try to say the Japanese title, but I'll put it on the screen. But it is sometimes subtitled as Counter Rockets and Signal to Strike Back. It starts off with quite a lengthy recap of Part 1 with the finished footage, unlike the recap in Part 2, and then goes into backstories with plenty of character development and world building. First episode, The Counterattack Begins, focuses on Hans. The second episode, The Arrow of Hope, focuses primarily on Sasha. And the third episode, Departure to Freedom, follows Fukushi and Lil. There's a great look into more of the science of the Titans, and I love it. Additionally, some realizations here make some scenes in Part 1 that seemed out of nowhere and a bit unbelievable, more believable. In the first episode, we also get to see the inspiration and creation of the omnidirectional mobility gear, which was cool. Look at this guy's mustache. I don't know if it's from the source material, but I love it. And if it is, then I love it even more. Very silly. There's some cool lighting and better hand-to-hand combat scenes than the actual movies. Camera is extra shaky at times. Not always like that, but the first new footage they show us is an odd choice. The second episode has some wavy camera, but it works well with the scene. The same technique shows up in the third, but it doesn't fit well, and instead is just headache-inducing. The first Titan in the series doesn't look as good as its movie counterparts, which is expected, but it just looks really goofy and not in an interesting way. As noted earlier, I like silly. There's a lot of good silly scenes in this miniseries, but the third episode, it still has some good silly scenes, but also parts that are silly and bad. Unlike the others, they feel out of place or go on for too long. Sometimes the music choice is also very confusing and not something that is brief. That being said, the third episode is by far my least favorite. I actually don't like it, despite the good fights and lighting I previously mentioned. It doesn't help that the characters it focuses on aren't as important in the movies, but I really like the first 2 episodes as a supplement to the films, so if you like the films, I'd definitely recommend the miniseries. Thanks for watching.
Neえからな。